Okay, 4:54. Just got finished with the day one of trial, unfortunately. Yeah. I thought it went really well. I think the prosecution set me up really well, kind of prepped me good, got me, prepared with questions and what to expect, things like that. Excuse me. One thing is, man, the courtroom is freaking cold. They told me it was going to be cold, but I thought my Boston blood would be stronger, but I didn't take into consideration the length of time I'd be in there. It's like a freaking igloo. Like, I'm frozen. My hands are like blocks. When I finally got on the witness stand, literally, my hands are like somewhat shaking, but I got past that. It's kind of weird, man. I don't know if any of you have ever been on a witness stand before, but you're sitting there and you're answering questions, a microphone, the judge is like right next to you, and you got all these people staring at you on the right, jurors, so you gotta kind of get past that. You gotta just focus on talking to the person asking the questions. Don't focus on anything else. Okay, once you can do that, you're gonna be in better shape. So like I said earlier, man, the prosecution, he's a good dude. His name is Show. He's good. A little hyper, but I kind of like it, and he's just a genuine good guy. Okay, so right before I went in, we're kind of on lunch break, right? So he came in, and he doesn't like to take lunch, and I didn't take a lunch because I didn't want to get tired. I didn't want to have to go to the bathroom. I just like, you know what? I want to stay focused. And he has the same thought. He doesn't want to do the same thing. He doesn't want to eat because he doesn't want to yawn while he's asking questions. So he doesn't eat at all when he's on trial, which I think is pretty cool. And it's smart, to be honest. It's smart. You don't need the heaviness and the grogginess to stay focused. But anyways, getting back to what we're doing. Sorry, I'm wiping my eyes because I'm not getting a lot of sleep. One thing is killing me, this running business and everything else. But, I talked earlier that we weren't gonna put into the record one of the videos, so we decided to do that because what the first video does is show, it's kind of weary because, again, she throws a pot at me and the phone's all wiggling around. It's really hard to focus, but we took it one frame at a time. Okay, so the first frame, you can see that I'm lounging on the couch. My foot's up. And then as she's coming out of the kitchen, the phone moves. But then, like this, second, third frame, you can see the coffee table that she tipped over, really upset. And I stressed how heavy it was. So you have to be really raging to get that table turned over. So and we use this in court, right? That's the whole point of it, of the story, which initially we weren't going to use it, but you break it down frame by frame, it tells a better story. It shows that, okay, the table's already turned over, so she was mad then. She went into the kitchen, but you can see that I'm not in an aggressive form. I'm lounging in the couch, and she comes after me because the prosecution thinks that her defense is going to be that it was, self-defense. She scratched the shit out of my face because I was like hurting her. While on trial, I thought I did pretty good. Prosecutor said I did great. Says I was extremely composed, which, hey, that's how I am, bro. Come on, let's get to it, right? Sorry. So, her lawyer, he's kind of an arrogant guy, which most lawyers are, but this dude is like really kind of arrogant. So, asking me questions, wants the short answer, which a lot of times you just can't. You have to elaborate on the question. Like, for example, he's trying to frame it like I control all the money in the house, which is completely ridiculous. You control the money, and is it true that you said no when she wanted a plate lunch? And I said, yeah, but it has to do with the fact that we're super low on money. He's like, no, it's a yes or no. And I said, okay, yeah, I said no to her, correct. And then they kind of went back to our business, our laundry business, because that's always been her thing. She says I stole her business. business is still alive. I didn't steal anything. I created, another business because she's spending all the money. So I kind of I think I did a pretty good job on turning it back on her and him, because I said I never took in her business, and it wasn't ever her business. It was our business. She put it in her name, which became a problem from us because we never discussed it. But it's not her business. It's family business. It's owned and operated by the family. Yes, technically 100% LLC's in her name, but again, I'm the one that's doing 85% of the work and have been for years. And, kind of trying to frame me as like a money boss or like, a strict spender, which is kind of ridiculous. But anyways, they're just grabbing for straws. You don't focus on those things because it really doesn't matter that much. The whole point is, did she abuse me or not? It does, like, maybe I said no to a plate lunch. Does that mean it's okay to throw a fucking pot at me? No, of course not. So, but they're reaching to try to, I think it's probably trying to bring my character down a few notches where I'm not as good a guy as I'm pretending to be, or make myself look. I think that's their angle, and I understand it. You gotta get anything you can to, to beat a case. So I get that. But what was confusing to me, because we weren't supposed to talk. My understanding was I wasn't supposed to talk whatsoever about Bishop Museum, because that is where the argument started. Argument started at Bishop Museum, where I didn't want her to buy a plate lunch for $24. It's a waste of money. She wanted to buy a dress. I said no. That's where the argument started. And I was told we cannot talk about Bishop Museum. And the Bishop Museum went to the car, right? And that's where she hit me. And then from the car went home, and that's where she attacked me. But the thing is they're going to talk about Bishop Museum, and they're skipping the car ride, which is really important. And to be honest, I think we might be able to get the car ride admitted now, because we weren't supposed to talk about Bishop Museum, but her defense lawyer brought it up. So how does that work? I don't know. But, I'm going to play with it, and we're going to see what happens. It's up to him. I don't, this dude is good, the prosecutor, and he knows all the rules and everything. But they had one sidebar, and had to do with the police report. They redacted stuff. I talked about it earlier. Like, how do you redact information that you want redacted instead of giving the whole picture to the jury? But I guess some of it is because they can't talk about the ride, right? The punch me in the head twice ride. So they redacted that part. But some of it, actually, the defense was saying that I never said that she hit me. And I said, I don't remember not putting that into the police report, but it's been a couple years, so I don't remember specifically. They're trying to, again, play it that she never hit me, and that she only scratched me to defend herself, which is kind of ludicrous. Honestly, I think they showed my face, the scratches on my face. They showed the video, and I think that was big time impactful. I think that is big time impactful. And the prosecutor guy show said to me that they were the jurors were watching me intently. Like, they weren't bored by what I was saying. They were listening to everything. And I do have a tendency to kind of overtell a story, but sometimes it's a good thing. And I think here it was a good thing. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. When I walked in, it's weird because everyone's looking at you, And, Ava was at the table, and I don't know. I'm going to call them fake tears, honestly. I don't know. You all seen how she acts online at this point in time. And, yeah, we had a lot together. And, maybe in a way it's affecting her, but I don't even know what goes on in her mind anymore. But she was what appeared to be crying when I first came in. I don't know. I looked at her real quick, and then I made a point not to look at her again. I don't, I'll be honest, I don't even want her to ever hear my voice again after this. The shit she put me through is epic fucking failure as a wife. But, gotta get past this first. But he brought up the fact that we're getting divorced, and he also brought up that would this trial have anything to do? Could it affect the divorce? I'm like, yeah, of course it could. Because I told Ava I don't want to sign any divorce papers until this case is over. Because I know if she's found guilty, that's going to help me get custody of Kalea. So it'd be stupid for me to not want this case to go first. So she kept delaying it. She kept kicking the can down the road. And I think it's because they didn't want this case to go on. So I'm in no hurry to sign those papers. No hurry. But as soon as this trial's over, let me know. I'll be there right before the sun comes up, waiting for you. You know. Okay. So also the defense attorney. Brought up. I think this angles to like I take advantage of her. Like we met at Oceans, and I was her. You were her boss, correct? Would you say your boss? I was like, yeah, I was her boss. And we, you know, how old were you? Right? 38. How old is she? Oh, she's 22. No law breaking there. I don't know, you know, if that's the best they got, man, and they're not in good shape, I gotta tell you. But I try to elaborate on it more, where it wasn't just about, you know, hookup. Obviously, we got married quick. I went over that too. They wanted to know we got married after 6 weeks, yada yada. But you know, I think the angle is I took advantage of her or whatever, and I wasn't able to elaborate on how we met and why we met, and which is important because I didn't just hook up with some girl. Obviously, you know, I was coming off a relationship, and her grandfather had just passed, and I was just trying to be a friend, you know, because I've had deaths in my family as well, and I just wanted to be there for her, and then we built a relationship off of that, and it was good, you know. So that was something he brought up. We'll find out his angle for sure, but the day ended right before 4 with this sidebar talking about the police report, if I hit her or not, and we ran out of time. So, you know, I spoke to the prosecutor after, and he was happy with the results, and kind of gave me an idea what's going to happen tomorrow. You know, they're going to keep asking me questions, and then there'll be a redirect. The redirect will be with the prosecutor. A lot of the things I couldn't answer, he'll let me answer, which is good because they're important. You know, I can't have, you know, anything that makes me look like anything I'm not. And that's their job, is to put holes in my story or make me seem like I'm not being truthful and honest. So, but I mean, I said I'd probably get emotional. I did. I teared up, you know, a little bit when we were, you know, talking about our life and stuff. So it was definitely, and it was honest, and it's not going to hurt me. The jury's going to see that I'm sincere and I'm sad, and they're going to see I don't appear to be a violent dude, which I'm not, of course. But yeah, so a few things to finish up. I will be back in at 8 tomorrow, and we don't know if she's gonna testify or not. They still don't know. I think they're gonna make that decision based upon how it goes with me. After me would be the police officer, and then they'll make a decision on Ava. So that's it. If I have any more thoughts, then I'll make another blog. But this is blog number 3, day 1 of my unfortunate domestic violence case against my once love of my life, wife. But brothers and sisters, again, life changes fast, man. You cannot take anything for granted. You just never know. There's cards in that deck that we're not prepared to play with. And, you know, that's really why we gotta appreciate every day, have love, care, and concern, and don't take it for granted. You know, I never want to be in this situation again, ever, because it sucks. No other word for it. It just sucks. It absolutely sucks. But do what you gotta do and you move on in your life. Okay, that's it. I'm out. Thanks for watching. Wish me luck in the morning. Okay, ciao.